It's time for a death battle!
Rewritten.
Like Aang, the Avatar.
And Po, the chosen Kung Fu Panda. New friends and begin his quest to learn the other elements and save the world. And as an air nomad, he can really bend the wind to his will.
He can use air bending to create whirlwinds and tornadoes or slice through solid stone.
And he can fly! Whee!
What he actually does is manipulate the air currents to keep aloft. That's why he carries a glider. Anyway, Aang can use air in pretty much every aspect of his life. Like for shields, increasing his speed, improving agility, adjusting his body temperature, and even focusing his breath to use as an attack.
After he learned waterbending from Paku and Katara, Aang can make whips, knives, and literal tsunamis.
Sure. Waterbenders can also manipulate steam and ice. Like airbending, waterbending requires a nearby source of water to use, like a pond or a filled bottle. The same goes for earthbending, which Aang learned from his mentor Toph.
Earthbending is all about throwing rocks at people, and a bunch of other cool stuff, like making walls and earthquakes and causing the ground to swallow you up.
Last but certainly not least, Aang learned the art of firebending from his longtime rival, Prince Zuko. Unlike the other arts, firebenders can actually create fire to use at will.
Firebending is so goddamn powerful, it's even got the deadliest bending technique of all, shooting lightning.
Well, only the most advanced firebenders can cast lightning, which is usually an instant kill move. While Aang never learned the move itself, he has learned how to redirect it through his body.
But even after learning the 4 elements, Aang got to meet one last master bender,
who taught him the art of manipulating a person's life energy, the purest form of bending.
It's super dangerous though, and one mistake could tear up Aang's soul.
And with it, Aang defeated the fire
Super form, the Avatar State.
In the Avatar State, Aang's bending abilities grow immensely powerful. This is because the Avatar State lets Aang draw upon the power and wisdom of all previous Avatar incarnations. Though it is extremely risky, as dying while in the Avatar State ends the cycle of reincarnation permanently. With or without the Avatar State, Aang is plenty powerful. He has the ability to move gigantic stone columns, and even carve canyons around an entire city.
Not only has he survived hits from earthbending kings and massive explosions, he threw this gigantic column of rock at the Fire Lord.
To get the column's mass, 9,500 tons.
Aang's super fast too. With airbending, he can run on water.
Which, given his size, requires a movement speed of well over 67 miles per hour.
He used airbending to block a giant column-destroying explosive attack from the best-named character on the show, Combustion Man!
And he's proven he could redirect lightning from the Fire Lord himself. Taking into account the distance between them and how far Aang's arm had to move to catch the lightning, he would have to react at least 155 times faster than sound.
You guessed it, panda style.
Which is sort of inspired by the real-world dragon style, but mostly based around using his roundness for defense, wearing down enemies until he gets an opening.
His body can stop just about anything. Falls, pressure point attacks, and even a club to the face. When he isn't overwhelming you with his pure fatness, Po can launch a Hadouken with the thundering windhammer, immobilize foes with the paralyzing shoulder touch, and blind you with the Golden Lotus Clap!
Much more than movies, like TV shows, where he picked up a lot of new powers, such as the hero's chi, a life force passed on to a chosen every generation.
This shonen power-up lets Po counter mind control, shoot beams of energy, and make a giant dragon construct that devours pretty much anything.
And of course, possessing the hero's chi makes Po comparable to the previous owners of it.
Including the Black Tortoise, who was powerful enough to stop this huge meteor from hitting Earth. Po even defeated this dude who would absorb the collective chi of the greatest fighters across China and hang with the best of them.
He can evade lightning blasts, chuck a hammer into low orbit, and once cleared an entire cloud formation with just the flex of his pinky.
This is his signature technique, the Wuxi Finger Hold, a move that warps anyone caught in it to the spirit realm.
AKA the afterlife. No, really, characters who have canonically died can be found here. And even should Po be unable to complete the hold, he can always use it on himself to bring his target to the spirit realm with him.
But despite the spirit realm being the afterlife and all that, death isn't always permanent. I mean, thanks to Po's chi mastery, he can travel back home no problem.
And eventually, he overcame the tragedy of his past and found his inner peace. In this state of mind, Po has an immense amount of focus, enough to catch cannonballs.
best of them.
He can evade lightning blast.
And he's proven he could redirect lightning from the Fire Lord himself.
And he can fly! Whee!
What he actually does is manipulate the air currents to keep aloft. That's why he carries a glider.
Chi existed. With Chi, Poe and other fighters like him have done far more insane feats.
Like the Black Tortoise and that extinction-level meteor stuff. Something that would require, just Avatar State.
The force to blast such a huge ravine around the city of Udao was a massive undertaking. By measuring the width, length, and depth of the affected area compared to the size of the city, we found it would take almost 160 kilotons of TNT to pull.
One last master bender.
Who taught him the art of manipulating a person's life energy, the purest form of bending.
It's super dangerous though, and one mistake could tear up Aang's soul.